Well, the purpose of the program is to bring another voice to what most Jamaican people got when they was a child. The other voice is to think on these things. When I speak, I say, all right, think on this. Like we talk about Africa, especially. Most Jamaican people, the only thing we know about Africa is that we was brought here as slaves. So when I start talking about Egypt, most Jamaican people never even know Egypt was in Africa. When we start talking about Ghana and the Coromantes and the Asante One, the Shaka, the Zulu, most Jamaican people never hear these things yet. So it sounds very strange to them. So a lot of the elder folks will tell them, don't listen to me. Because them, what I am saying, them never hear about that yet. So from them never hear about it yet, nothing don't go so. But them still listen. And a lot of these youth grow big now, and they go to universities, and them hear them professor with the same reasoning that I say on the radio. So it validates what I was saying on the radio when they was a child. To actually hear a professor in a Harvard, in a Yale, and all these people, they saying the same thing what the Dr. Rasta was saying on the radio for how much years. So it's a matter of perspective on where you are at the time when you hear the sound. You know, where are you when you hear this song, this cutting edge program? You're at a point of still, you're standing still in a European colonized mind, in a white Jesus mind, in a place where Africa is uncivilized. African people do have a nation, do have a culture, do have nothing to offer to the world. We come and we speak of what Africa offers to the world. We come and speak of the great African leaders. We come and speak of the spirituality that guide Africa. African spirituality is the only spirituality that don't look for a savior. You know, there's no African tradition that says this man is going to save you. All of these things is coming from the mindset of either Asia or Europe, where a man is going to come, one man is going to save the world. If you look on the West African traditions, the Southern African tradition, there's no one man that is going to save the world. And I think a lot of Rastas take up that craziness to say, one man going to save the world. You know, it's not something that I give credence to. So when I say these things on the radio, it's like it opened a Pandora box to some people, and it opened up a consciousness to other people. So we continue saying it, because we are validated every day by things. It's like when Peter Touch was singing about ganja, and it was not recognized. For years, that song legalized, it was banned on the radio. Now we see the majority of states in America has decriminalized ganja, even in Jamaica. And we see now where the government is getting involved with ganja production. We remember when Rasta was talking about ital food to eat good food. Now we hear about vegan, we hear about plant-based and all those things. Rasta was saying all these things, but it sounds strange. 50, 60, 70 years ago, it sounds strange to people who was embedded in curry-goat and rice and peas, ackee and saltfish. You know, so when we come on the radio, public radio, and saying these things, we get crucified for it, but we still continue to do it. And now we say, ital food become mainstream, dreadlocks become mainstream, ganja become mainstream. So what else is it that Rasta was saying that we don't really understand yet? And I put it to you that there's a lot more to be said within the culture of Rastafari, that people come to the realization that, yes, there's something valid in that cultural expression. So we continue. We're not going to stop. We continue with life. So we stay and we go through it. You know, we're not going to change to suit the situation, because we realize that most of the situation is corrupt and them deceiving. The Bob Marley deceiving the people continuously. That is what them do, building church and universities. And we truly accept and understand what he was saying. Because Rasta is saying that for years. Them deceive the people. So how can we see the deception of the people and then now come and say the evolution of Rastafari thoughts and philosophy within the culture? We must now pull up back ourselves with the same mindset that put we here. Sizzler said, the white man God cannot save you from white man oppression. So if the white man God can't, if the white man use a God to enslave us, why we think that God is going to free us? And Rastafari come with his own God, his own concept, his own cultural expression. And that is really where guide we when we do the program. We do the program, we do some things where normally most Rasta wouldn't depend on a program and I say this thing. Most Rasta wouldn't go into Buddhism, Hinduism, Taoism, quoting Khalil Gibran. Most Rasta would say, no, I'm not like that. But we know, say, all of these things combined can make a difference in the mindset of what we have in Jamaica as a European mindset that has driven the people them in disarray and traumatized to the point of because we start to have Stockholm syndrome, where the kidnapped is now loving the kidnapper to the point where now he knows himself has been kidnapped anymore. And that is really where black people there in Jamaica, why it's necessary for us to continue the program just as how it is, because a lot of people over the years have seen something of value in what we said and profess it out there. And when we go all over the world, we can see and hear people saying, yes, the cutting edge make a difference. So it's just that, it make a difference. We will get to the question, I can say something here about Rasta. Most Rastas don't want to accept the different spirituality and religions in Africa. What we mean by that? It's a talk to Rasta about voodoo, Obia, Mayalism. Them say it's devil thing that. Because it's African thing. That is what the colonial masters teach you. That anything that is African have no place in the civilized world. Tell you that Obia, voodoo, Santeria, and all these things is devil worship. If you listen to most Rasta talk, they will not talk about voodoo. They say, no, they don't like that, they will think that. They never talk about Egypt in a good light. Because them say, the Egyptian Pharaoh will use them in a slavery and bondage. So them demonize Egypt. It's in Egypt. It's one of the stone, the stone of civilization. So we never hear nothing about these things. We never hear. So the demon that we have in our mind is not against slavery. It's not against oppression. It is against ourselves, what we internalize as something of no value in ourselves. And what is no value? Africa is no value. The things say, we never know that Africans contribute to the Western civilization, our world civilization. Look at even now, the coltan in DRC, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, the computer that we're using now on the cell phone, the mineral resources is dug out of the Congo to make these things. How much black people in Jamaica know that? How much black people in Jamaica, as a matter of fact, what black people in the Caribbean know that the ingredients in the cell phone and the quality come from Africa? Most people don't know that. When you say these things, because you don't know, people say, where you get them foolishness from? Not foolishness. When you tell them about Timbuktu and you tell them about the Egyptian pyramids and the Isis and Horus and Osiris, even the Ankh always aware. Them say the pastor tell themselves everything. I remember I used to sell the anthem, and a girl come in and my shop and buy one. And when she go work, them tell her, I said them don't want to read that in the workplace. The ankh, the word is a word, is life. But because it don't look like a cross, like when them say Jesus upon, people says devil thing. No, the program is showing them, say, look at, this is how this is. Here's another point of view. Go and look in books and study. Now you have iPhone, iPad, and all these things. Go into these things and see what you're talking about, if it make any, if it is valid. When we talk about the ankh, where the ankh come from? How did we come to be wearing the ankh now as conscious African people? When we talk about voodoo, go and look in your history book about voodoo. And what is it that is voodoo? What is it that Santeria? These are the things that Africans use to liberate themselves. Even in Haiti, when we talk about the revolution in Haiti, you think it's just gun and bombs? We will never have liberate those people. It's African retentive things that was brought here in the Western world here that helped to liberate the Africans them. Just like when them couldn't take locks. When them couldn't take locks, them say locks are dirty, nasty people, black heart man. Them used to talk about we are black heart man and we are kill pig and have sacrifice them and all these things. Not like that. Most of us are vegetarian. Them will want to kill a fly. So when we say these things, it sounds so strange because we have not gotten our things, our history, our validation in history. We'll never get it. So now here comes a program now that is trying to correct, as I would say, correct what was not said, or what was said, but now we are saying it. And people still look on it like, it's crazy. Where you get that from? Where you get that from? Look on the iPhone and the iPad. Look on look on the I thing. I was supposed to talk about I and I tell them thing there. Where these guys get the I from? Them can't tell me say no rather than my here. Because when I say I and I, people say, we go school, where you get them food stuff from about I and I, it's you and me. Yet still nobody's asking Elon Musk and Jobs and all these guys. When them get the iPad, iPhone, iTunes, this and that, nobody not complaining about I again. So when I say I and I, it has been validated by these people. That black people used to look on it and say I and I is foolishness. Where I say I and I for them someday. So it's just that. It's just that. And we will continue. We will continue. We don't know how long more we have left because we reach 71 next month. We don't know how more we can talk on the radio. Maybe we can talk off the radio. But to continue it, but we know say this book, which is what books are for, books live longer than the person who the book is spoken about or who write the book. This book will continue. And maybe the next one going to come to a next book. Poetry that is written in the book and put on the record will continue. It's not like first time when a man says something and then switch it up and put it in the Bible and say God say, which we know says man has said. Everything in the book is man has said. And them changed it so much time over history. Almost 2,000 years after that, history changed it so much time. That it's very difficult now to define and decide what was really said by the original people who were saying it. Now them can't do that again because you have book now and you have recorded book, you have e-book, you have iPhone, you have CD, you have compact disc, you have albums that the person who is saying it 2,000 years from now, when they play the same record, them going to hear the person saying it, so there's no doubt about it. It's just that one of them never mentioned about our connection in Africa, in Ghana, and what he did. He made a thing, Mutabaruka return to the motherland. That's a very important part of the whole move with with me and Werner, you know. He followed us with a camera into the dungeons in Ghana. You know, which is a very important thing, you know, because it's the first time I write about that place, but I got the opportunity to actually do my poems in the place that I've been writing about for years. And that is a feat in itself, to actually write some poems in Jamaica about a place and then end up in the place, reading the poems them, and also have it immortalized on a DVD, and so on as if it's a very important part of my feelings and attitude towards my work, you know. I don't know a lot of artists, I don't know how much artists get that opportunity from Jamaica to really write about a place, especially a place of slavery and destruction for African people, and then return there to read some poems about the same destruction.
Yeah, give thanks for that, Muta. And I must say, even for me, that was a very, very important moment in my life, because being there at the Pana Fest in 1996 and meeting Muta there, and I was lucky that I had a camera team from Austrian television with me, and they were actually doing a short documentary, 20 minutes, on the Pana Fest. And then getting together with Mutabaruka, I was very shy in that place because I was very much aware as an anthropologist, I'm a white person from a colonial country, although Austria may not have been the most important colonial power. But if we think back of Austria-Hungary, they had connections to colonial powers, of course. And then there were moments at that Pana Fest when I asked Muta if we could do an interview in the dungeons. And we did that. And actually, it was his idea to go back into the dungeons to film that. And I must say, I really give thanks for that kind of trust. And I think I can speak in both our names, for Sebastian and myself. It takes a lot of trust that you say, okay, guys, go ahead, write that book, although you were involved in every part. But if anyone thinks about somebody else is writing about him or her or whosoever, it's a very difficult task. It takes a lot of trust. You would not allow everyone to write a book about you, you know? And that really, yeah, much love to you, Muta, and give thanks for that. And we are really happy that you like it, because that was my biggest worries all the way. What happens if the book comes out and you are so happy, you know? So that you take part in all of this actually shows that you are happy with the result. And you are perfectly right, my brother, if I may say that. That book will stand for a long time. And it was meant to be presented at your 70th birthday for Earth Strong. We missed that a little bit, but it's still the year of the 70th. You're not 71 yet. And yes, ma'am. And one thing, I've never met a man with so much energy and power in all my life. And so this book at least can do a little bit to sort of share it with lots of people on the globe. And let me say one more sentence. Many Jamaicans can still add on. There's so much more to say on the philosophy and opinions of Mutabaruka, as Caroline Cooper one time brought up the idea. There could be many more PhD students in Jamaica, in the Caribbean, in Africa, who could actually continue that work. And that is actually our hope. We would not see that as competition, but rather as a continuation. So yes, blessed love, give thanks, Muta.